In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the pot sizes that these plants come in. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and recently I know there's been a little bit of confusion amongst some of you who are shopping online, just trying to figure out what exactly does a pot size mean. There's gallons, there's true gallons, there's trade gallons, there's quarts, there's 4.5 inch. There's a lot of different size options available. So I wanted to really just try to clarify to you what the difference is in some of these size options. So recently I went to one of our competitors and purchased what they were calling a 1 gallon size container. And this is their 1 gallon size container. This here is a 0.65 gallon or 2.48 liter container. This is called a trade gallon. It is not even a gallon at all, but it can be called a gallon because it's a trade gallon. This is what we have. This is a true 1 gallon size container. This has the soil volume of 1 gallon. And you can see what the difference is between a 1 gallon and a 1 gallon. So it's real important that when you're purchasing plants online, that you know definitively what size plants you're buying or what size containers you're buying. Don't be tricked by a 1 gallon when this is what a 1 gallon actually is. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the various comparisons that I have here. And I'm just going to try to be honest and fair with my review of what we have, what we were sent, and then our gallons. So right here, what we have, this is no tag included in this one. All of our plants will come with a proven winter tag. And a proven winter tag is required when you are shipping out proven winter plants. So we are looking here at the Amazing Daisy Marshmallow. So the first one we're going to look at here, we'll come in closer, is our 1 quart size container. Now, yes, there is a flower on this right now. We never guarantee that our plants are going to arrive in flower or in bloom. It just so happened that this one had a flower on it. And there's a reason why we don't guarantee that the plants will always come in bloom, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes as to the why of that. But this right here, this is our Eco Quart size container. This is the biodegradable container, which is not important when you're shopping online. I mean, this may be important to some, but to others this may not be an added value. So really this is not what you're looking for. But you're looking for a pot that has a true 1 quart size capacity. And this is what a typical marshmallow leucanthemum would look like in our 1 quart container. Comparing that to another company's 1 gallon marshmallow, you can see there's not a lot of size difference between our 1 quart and what they are calling a 1 gallon. Both are nice plants, great quality, but what you're paying for this, what they're calling a 1 gallon, is way greater than what we are selling our 1 quart for, and size-wise, very comparable. Now, if you take their 1 gallon compared to our 1 gallon, you can see quite a huge size difference. So this is where it's important that you're making sure that you are getting a true 1 gallon size container, not the trade or cheater 1 gallon. The next plants we'll be comparing is the Chantilly lace aruncus. So this is our 1 quart size Chantilly lace compared to what they're calling a 1 gallon Chantilly lace. Both, again, excellent plants, very nice looking plants. I'm not saying these plants aren't healthy or good. I'm just saying check out the size. For what you're paying for this compared to what you're paying for that, this is a far better price point. Now, comparing our 1 gallon Chantilly lace to their 1 gallon, not a lot of size difference there. So I can't say that, you know, one over the other, you're getting a much bigger plant at this point in time, one to the other. But what I can tell you is this plant here was 25% more than what you're going to pay for this plant here. Next on the comparison scale, we have our 1 quart violet profusion salvia. So I had mentioned earlier that we don't always guarantee the plants to come in flower, and that's because at Garden Crossings we're constantly trimming our plants. So if these flowers here become long and spent, We're going to trim these flowers off to help encourage more branching and more flowers for you later on in the season. So this is a 1 quart violet profusion compared to what they are calling a 1 gallon. And again, the 1 quart is a little bit smaller, but you're paying over twice the amount for this, what they're calling a 1 gallon. Comparing again there what they call 1 gallon to what we're calling 1 gallon. Check out that size difference. And guess what? This one costs 25% more than this one. Next on the list is the White Wands Veronica. And I grabbed actually 2 white wands from our inventory. One that is in flower and one that has been trimmed back, because I wanted to show you what trimming looks like at garden crossings. So typically when we go out and trim, we'll trim to what we call tag height. So you can see this has been trimmed to about tag height. This one has not, because this was planted at a later time, so this one has not flowered yet. But you might get something that looks like this trimmed, or you may get something that looks like this in flower. Both are excellent plants, just one's been trimmed for flowers later on again in the season, and the other is ready to bloom and thrive. So let's go ahead and compare our 1 quart to what they are calling a 1 gallon. Now, granted, yes, that does have a much larger canopy compared to this 1 quart, but for over twice the price, I'll let you decide what you would want to buy. And again, comparing what they're calling a 1 gallon to what we're calling a 1 gallon. And again, I'm not guaranteeing that ours is always going to be in bloom. You may receive this at some point with these flowers trimmed off. So I don't want you to have false hope that, you know, Heidi, you said it's going to be in flower. It may not be. It may be trimmed. But again, let's try to look. Whoop! And let's try to look. Let's go ahead and try to look at them forward facing just to see the difference in size. You're paying 25% more for this plant here in the smaller container. Now the next one I don't have a true good comparison of, because we're already sold out of all of our Bernera in our 1 gallon containers. So this will just be a quart compared to what they're calling a 1 gallon. This is our 1 quart size Queen of Hearts. Pretty nice plant. This is what they're calling in their 1 gallon Queen of Hearts. Now there's nothing wrong with this plant, to be very honest with you. Yes, it's a little floppy, but once this gets planted into the landscape, it's going to put on more growth and it's going to be a nice plant. So don't let the floppiness of this like say, oh, well, yeah, Heidi, that one doesn't look good. This will be a fine plant, but look at the difference. For over twice the price in this plant here, which would you choose? The next comparison is going to be the Fruit Punch series. So I have the Fruit Punch Maraschino and I have the Fruit Punch Funky Fuchsia. Now, I did not have either of these available in our gallon size container, so I did grab another dianthus in the Fruit Punch series just to show you a comparison. So the flowers will be different color if we had the correct plants, but this is actually the size of our dianthus. So we have the Fruit Punch Maraschino. This is our 1 quart size container. Again, you may not receive this with flowers, okay? But if you did, they smell really nice. Compare that to what they're calling a 1 gallon. Yes, theirs is a little bit bigger, but again, you're paying over twice the price. And then let's compare that to our 1 gallon. This plant here costs 25% more than what this plant here costs. Check out that size difference. And again, just to compare one more, the Funky Fuchsia in a quart compared to the Funky Fuchsia in what they're calling a gallon. Yes, it is a much larger plant. Twice the price, it is a bigger plant. And then looking here at, again, our gallon, true 1 gallon, 8-inch pot compared to the cheater or trade 1 gallon that we purchased. I'm not trying to say anything negative or bad about these plants. These are all wonderful plants, excellent quality. The grower did a great job. What I want to point out to you is be sure that when you are buying your plants that you are confident in what you are buying. You may be sold a 1 gallon and get this, or you may be sold a 1 gallon and get this. So be sure you know what 1 gallon means when you are purchasing your plants online. So you may be asking yourself, how do I know if I'm getting a true 1 gallon size container or if I'm getting a trade or cheater gallon size? And that's a great question. Some companies will list soil volume on their website, so you know exactly what the soil volume is. Other people will just call it a gallon, and you're to guess if it's a true gallon or if it's a trade gallon. So I guess the best way to answer the question of how do I know what I'm getting is look on the website and see if they list their soil volumes. And if not, it may not be a bad idea to call the company and ask them, are you selling your 1 gallon containers in a true 1 gallon, or are you selling your 1 gallons in a trade 1 gallon? That's how you will know for sure what exactly you are buying. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I always love it when you have questions. If you're new to our channel, we welcome you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.